I want to thank the Hall of Fame Selection Committee for your tenacity in selecting me to the Hall of Fame. As the great Winston Churchill once said, you never gave in, never, never, except to convictions of honor and courage, and you fought for my selection, as well as another and many numerous media people throughout the country. I shall never forget that. I am grateful to you. The enshrinement is a reflection of a life's work, a reflection of a love affair with the greatest game the world has ever known. But this honor is a testament to a great organization and to all the capable people who have poured their talent, enthusiasm, loyalty into the greatness of the Raiders and the Raiders' legend and mystique. I was born lucky. I was blessed with a great mother and father. No one had to tell me to love my mother and father based on a commandment. They raised their children with strong discipline and a strong faith in God. Good health throughout my life has been another blessing, with many lasting friendships that I treasure with great love and loyalty. My parents wanted me to have the values and virtues of what is still the American way of life: hard work, dedication, commitment, loyalty, and respect for the dignity of man. I wanted to introduce immediately today my mother Rose, who is here seated in the front row. She's over 90 years old. Thank you, Mother. My brother Jerry and his family, and of course, my dad, who isn't here, who is a proud guy and a self-starter. I'm sure he is looking down on us today. My parents, in their own way, encouraged me to dominate. I tell you this quick story in Florida. It was about 6 years ago. I was seated in a very prominent restaurant with my mother and some of the top people in professional football, some of the top writers, and we were talking about signing of players, and my mother asked me, "How are you doing?" And I said, "I've got problems. I haven't signed Mike Haynes, Todd Christensen, Lester Hayes, and I named 2 others. And I said, they just want too much money." Her answer was, "Without them, what kind of team you're going to have? Give them the money. You can't take it with you." For a moment, I wish all of you would bear with me. I'd like to talk to the great Raider warriors who are here today, some 100, and some who are no longer with us, but whose memories we cherish. I say to those great Raider warriors, let me take you back a few years to Frank Ewell Field, to the Oakland Coliseum, to the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, and have you all individually introduced once again to the roar of the crowd. And we can never forget those great fans. The roar would be deafening. To see you all in those silver and black uniforms, to hear the national anthem, relive the moments of the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. To those of us who saw you battle to the top over the last 3 decades, we will never forget you. You know, Raider football was always emotional. We loved to take those memorable trips throughout the league, and we were hated, we were feared, but we were respected. This community is the cradle of professional football. When our heroes of the past become our legends of the future, and we all know time never really stops for the great ones. It reaches out and wraps them in a cloak of immortality. What a great inspiration to come to this Field of Dreams every year, to walk through the hall and walk through its exhibits, and to pay tribute to this great class. I know Lem Barney, I used to study him. John Mackey was a favorite of mine. And Junior Riggins, I call him Junior. God, how he wanted to play for the Raiders and how I wanted him. But they said, no, not in the American Football Conference. We'll let him go over there to the National Football Conference. And then to the great class. to the great class that sits here behind me, the greatest players who've ever played this game. I've always said that the Raiders, my family, we have a realization that we have a debt to them and we have a debt to each other. And they know that I'll never forget that debt. I want to introduce to you a young lady that I met over 35 years ago. She was just a friend of mine. I was coaching at Fort Belvoir. I came out for a big game one day, and I looked up in the stands. It was a small, high school field. We only seated about 10,000 at those games. We were fighting to be the #1 service team in the nation. And I look up, and sitting there is Weeb Eubank, who's scouting the game for the pros, and the general of the Post. And this girlfriend of mine is sitting with the general and Weeb Eubank. I almost died. I got her after the game and I said, "What are you doing up there? What are you doing with them?" She said, "I can handle myself." She said, "We were talking football." "What do you mean talking football?" She said, "I was telling them about our players." "Where do you know about our players?" She said, "I was telling them everything I heard you say." With that quality, I knew I was stuck. I told her at a very early age that the only thing that could take me away from football was life or death. She put me through the test about 12 years ago. Today she's 100%. She's a beautiful lady, my friend Carol Davis. Aside from my will to win, my commitment to excellence, the fire that burns brightest in me are the great love and enthusiasm that I had and have for the game of football and for everyone and everything connected with it. I love the game, I love the league, I love my team. But more important, I wanted to embellish all of them to agree, never surpassed, and seldom have ever equaled. I think that I've known every facet of this game, whether from the inside or outside, whether in collaboration or in opposition when it was necessary. I have labored in this vineyard, this cradle, with the objective of making the league itself a working combination of both discipline and freedom. I shall always believe that great people inspire in others the will to be great. To the people of Canton, to the late Bob Snyder, you have inspired me by your receptiveness, your enthusiasm. I shall cherish this honor for the rest of my life. I thank you very much.